First thing is we're going to ask our speakers to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with Nick, and we're going to go straight down. So if you could just tell us your name, the company you work with, and maybe one or two interesting facts that you never thought you'd tell a room of 150 people.
Oh, wow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Aren't you guys excited to be here? Give yourself a round of applause for being here, because it's all about starting off with networking. That's key. My name is Netta Gaye. I'm the head of diversity and inclusion. I'm also a senior technical recruiter. Gosh, I've been recruiting for years and years and years, and I love it so much that I even thought of coding myself, front end. So one day we'll see, or maybe one of you guys can teach me. So IAC Applications is a leading provider of software products and applications. Many of you have probably heard of IAC. How many hands? Yeah. So IAC owns Vimeo, OkCupid, Tinder, Match, on and on and on. IAC Applications is actually the second largest brand underneath IAC. So really excited to be here and chat with you guys tonight. Thank you.
So let's see from the long list of questions. So the questions that we sent you, I threw them out and I created new ones just to warn you. So I guess the first one would be, if we think about the room tonight and the candidate flow that we're seeing today at Crowded and there's some different definitions. So we're going to start there. So we would label the majority of the developers in the room, and what we see is really junior to intermediate developers. So I'm going to ask from Nick, and we're going to go straight the way down, just real quick, one sentence or so, what would you consider to be a junior developer as far as, the number of years of experience, or if there's another metric for just the term junior developer? Because I think as an industry, we're having some issues with the label, and it's affecting the way that candidates sometimes are applying for jobs.
I think 0 to 2 years is definitely precise. I met a candidate at a startup fair, and he actually didn't have any experience. He was just coding on his own. I told him, hey, send me some of those links, send me your GitHub account. I'll send it over to the manager so he can take a look at it. And we actually hired him. He did extremely well. So you don't have to actually have those exact number of years, 2 or 3. I think once you have that coding experience, you're passionate about it, you've been doing it for a while, you'll be good.
If you think about the skill sets of, we're not going to go too far into the future, maybe in the next 12 to 18 months, what type of skills are you looking for again, more of that junior developer position? Is it a certain framework, or something that you would suggest, maybe some candidates here are watching, kind of live tonight or the replays, that they should really focus on becoming experts in, that's going to help them over the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, definitely. I think data scientist is a huge trend right now, business intelligence. We typically look for folks that have, JavaScript, Java, CSS, HTML, the back end, the front end skills is key for us. But yeah, I think one of the most important things, though, is I'm sure many people have the functional knowledge here, but being able to explain it to people that don't really understand that technical knowledge, or technical language, rather, is really important. So if you're collaborating with the marketing department, you need to explain to the marketing folks, okay, what this code means and how to break that down. So I think that's really important right now.
So, real quick, love to hear a story of someone that you hired that you felt really comfortable with, that in the first 90 days or 120 days, you or the team realized just wasn't going to work out, and maybe it was a disconnect, as an example, like a reason that something didn't work out that felt great on the intake.
We had a rock star candidate. She did extremely well during the technical portion of the interview. But we did, let her know that it's a very collaborative company. So having those interpersonal skills are so important. And being a team player is important as well. And unfortunately, she just wasn't a team player and as collaborative. So that ended that way.
So you have a really interesting title. You're running, diversity and inclusion. Right. So what's fascinating, for me, so my entrance into technology is I used to develop video games a million years ago. So So we're talking like Sega Genesis, Game Boy. That again ages me, the type of stuff that I used to work on. So I can tell you back in the development studios that I ran that there were maybe 1 or 2 women in marketing,
right,
and that was it. And if you look at the room tonight, I mean, I'm pretty proud of the count of women developers that are represented. So I'd love to hear your suggestion and advice for female developers, breaking in for their first job and just basically how to shine.
Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to put your best foot forward. Get out there, volunteer, get into organizations like Girls Who Code and try to, help them out, motivate them, inspire them, because it's all about, we saw the march, all of us, and the power in women. But we need men supporting us as well, So being a part of those organizations, I think, is key, and to motivate those girls.
Tell us in the most condensed way that you can about the hiring process for a developer at your company. Is there a coding challenge? Technical interviews? Just I know it could be, especially on the Google side, it could probably be a very long conversation. So we'll do the super condensed version of it, and we'll run right down the path.
Yeah, definitely. Super condensed version would be, we definitely have a coding test, but it's more of a technical phone interview. So we don't actually send you a test and an email and say, okay, send us your code back. Again, we're a very collaborative organization, so we want to be able to see you. We want to be able to speak with you. So we'll do a video or a telephone, ask you those technical questions, and if that goes well, then we want to bring you on in. So that's the condensed version.